Welcome to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Kapadhi, and I'm here to help you to really teach you how to apply emotional intelligence in your own relationship so that you are able to build a stronger and healthier relationship. Today, we are going to dive into the topic which is super important, and especially in our relationship, and it is how to really apply emotional intelligence in your love relationship. Because we live in a society where we believe that men supposed not to express their emotions. Otherwise, they are regarded as, they are not men enough. But the truth is, every human being, including men and women, including men, they are emotional beings. They have emotions. And sometimes, because the society has taught us that, yes, to disregard, especially men's emotions. That's why when men are in a relationship, they tend to sort of be disregarded. They tend to sort of like hide their emotions. They tend to avoid their emotions. And that is where relationship problems starts. So today, we will talk about how you can apply emotional intelligence in your relationship. So you stay tuned until the end because I am going to reveal all the strategy. How do you apply the components of emotional intelligence in your relationship? Where do you start and where do you end? Now let's dive in. I am sure many of you heard about emotional intelligence, and which is a very big word, and you wonder what exactly it is when we talk about emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? Now, to define emotional intelligence, what it means is it's how do you feel? If I put it in a very simple term, how do you feel when you are in the relationship? How do you feel as a human being? And it is also not only how do you feel. You must also go beyond. How do other people around you feel? For instance, if we talk about emotional intelligence in a relationship, how do your partner feel? How do your children feel? Now, emotional intelligence is also around understanding where your emotions are coming from. You need to understand, where do they come from? When are they coming? And how to control them. And it is not only your own emotions, it is also around your partner's emotions. Where do your own emotions are coming from? Where do your partner's emotions are coming from? And you also go beyond how to control your own emotions. But it should also, how do you empathize with others? In this case, because we are talking about the relationship, it's your partner. How do you empathize with your partner? So that you, especially when you are maybe helping your partner, you need to know your partner. Because you are together, you need to know your partner, where your partner is coming from. But first, you start with yourself. That is emotional intelligence. Now, it is also, to put it really in a simple term, it's about knowing you. It's about managing you. And it's also about connecting with other people. In this case, connecting with your partner. Once you know yourself, once you know how to manage yourself, you also need to know how to connect with your partner. Now, let's move to the number 2 aspect. Let's define what is exactly emotions, because we are talking about emotionally intelligent. Now, what is emotions? Now, when we talk about emotions, most people think that emotions are just coming, are just something that is just happening. And there is nothing you can do to really control them, or there's nothing you can do about them. But the truth is that when we can feel when the emotions are coming, you can feel when they are coming. Now, what are the emotions? When we talk about emotions are just really the feelings. Feelings such as, I will give some few examples of emotions. We talk about happiness. If you are happy, it means happiness is an emotion. But if you are asked to pinpoint where is your happiness, you don't know, but you feel happy, you feel excitement, you feel the joy. And those are positive emotions. And then there are also what we call negative emotions, such as maybe anxiety, depressions, fear, anger. Those are also emotions, but they are also negative emotions. That's why you need to know them. You need to know that this is a positive emotion and these are negative emotions. So, and because you need to connect, we need to know how to connect with our emotions. So that, and how to disconnect with the emotions. So because I talk about the positive emotions, you want always to connect with your positive emotions. You want to be happy. You want to be grateful. We want to have joy. You want to be excited. Those are the positive ones, and that is the one you want to connect with them. But we also want to disconnect with the negative one, like anger. You don't want to be angry all the time. You want to disconnect with those. You don't want to have depression. You don't want to have fear. So you want to know them. Once you know them, you identify them, you now want to say, how do you control them? That is now the issue. So either you allow them to flow freely, or you want to disconnect with them. The good one, you want them to flow freely, even the negative one, but as long as you are able also to control them. Now, we do have 5 components of when we talk about emotionally intelligent. But before that, we talk about the emotions. Now, what is the intelligent? So, meaning, when we talk about emotionally intelligent itself, it's now to say, yes, now that I know my emotions, now I have to use my intelligence to control them. I need to control my emotions. So I use my intelligence to control them. So that is exactly what it means. So there are 5 components of it. Now, in order to develop really your emotionally intelligent, to learn the skill about your emotion, you need to look at now the 5 components. Number 1, it's self-awareness. Number 2, self-regulation. Number 3, motivation. Number 4, empathy. And number 5 is social skills. So this video is only focused on the very first component, which is self-awareness. The others, we will do it in the next video. Just stay tuned. Now, when we talk about self-awareness, what do we mean? It is actually about where you discover who you are. Who are you in this relationship? Who are you? If you are a man, who are you in this relationship? What is your purpose in this relationship? When you are a man, you are a man, you are a woman. Now, what is your purpose? Why do you think God has created you to be a man? God created you to be a woman. To do what? What is your purpose in this life? Now, about self-awareness is also about you are aware about your own emotions. Do you know how do you feel? It's also about knowing your own behavior. If you are misbehaved, do you know? If you are dishonest, do you know? If you are angry, do you know your behavior, including your actions? If you go out and you drive, while you are in the influence of alcohol, are you aware of your actions? So, are you also aware of your weaknesses? What drives you? Your emotions. What is triggering your emotions? What is your value? What is your strength? What is your limitation? All those things, what you need to know, you start at home, where you need to know yourself. You need to know yourself. Because knowing yourself, it allows you also to know your partner. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know who you are, how do you feel? Where are you coming from? What is your confidence level? What is your limitation? What triggers your anger if you are an angry person? So when you are aware of your emotions, so you are able actually to control your actions. You are able to control your behaviors. And you encourage those who are appropriate. Knowing yourself, you know how to communicate to your partner. You know that I cannot say this to my partner. Your communication skill is actually sharpened if you are emotionally intelligent. Now, we do have problems because we lack emotional intelligence in our relationship, because when you are there and you lack the skill, who you are, what is the appropriate time or the appropriate action situation to respond in that way. So do you know how to press the button knowing that, no, I cannot say that, or I cannot respond this time? If my partner is angry, what do? Press the button, breathe in, and you calm down. That is emotionally intelligent. How do you act in many situations? So, when you are emotionally intelligent, which is really a skill that I would recommend that every couple need to know, because that is the core of a relationship. Without knowing how do you feel? Yes, I know that, especially in our society, we were taught not to express our emotions, especially those emotions that are negative. We were not even also, we were prohibited even to cry in our culture. You are beaten when you cry. And when you don't cry, you are also beaten. So, you don't know when to express your emotion. That's why you either hide them or you either suppress them. When you hide them and suppress them, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't feel a thing. You feel it, but you are taught, you are raised up to hide your emotion, not to express it. And especially for men, you will be regarded as a coward because you are regarded as like a woman. It's because it has been believed that it's only women who can express their emotions, who can cry, who can sort of, be, especially those soft skills. Men are more encouraged to use those hard skills where you say you are angry and so on. The negative one, they are more encouraged to the men, which is quite wrong. So, in summary, what we discussed today is to say, we discuss about what is exactly emotional intelligence. And we say emotional intelligence is exactly just how do you feel. And be aware about your feeling and be aware of your partner's feeling. That's now specifically for emotional intelligence in a relationship. How do you feel and how do another person feel? And it's also, you also have to understand, empathize with your partner, meaning put yourself in the shoes of your partner to understand how she or he also feels. We also talk about emotions. We talk about what are emotions. Emotions are also just feelings. Feelings such as, happiness, feelings such as fear, feeling anxiety, depression, excitement. Those are the emotions. And if you combine it with intelligent, we also talk about once you are intelligent, it means you have the skill to use your EQ, your intelligence, to control your emotions so that when you are in a relationship, you know exactly how to respond to your partner. And that's where communication comes in. And then we also talk about the components of emotionally intelligent. The components, I talk about 5 of them, which is now self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. And this video, I said, is only concentrate on the first one, which is self-awareness. And when we talk about self-awareness, it's just to be aware. Are you aware who you are? Are you aware about your own emotions? Do you know them? Are you able to recognize them? Do you know what trigger your emotions? Do you know when you are angry? That is self-awareness, because that's where you have to start. Start first with yourself. And once you start with yourself, then you are able to move to other people, which will be the next lesson. Now, if you like this video and you want me to do more, I ask you to subscribe to this channel, share this video with the loved ones, like and comment. How does emotional intelligence, this lesson impacted you? Until next time, when we're going to discover other component. So see you later. Thank you.